let's try it without mute this time. All right, good morning, everyone. It's 11 o'clock. On behalf of the Mayor, City Council, and City Manager's Office, and our partners at Carolina Small Business Development Fund, welcome to today's small business webinar on the Oak City Biz Labs Business Stabilization and Resiliency Program. Thank you all for joining. I'm Mark Weldon with the City of Raleigh Small Business Development Unit of Housing and Neighborhoods. We'll introduce everyone in just a moment, but first, some general housekeeping. First of all, be aware that we are recording the session so we can offer a replay of the session if you miss anything today, or if for people that are not able to join today. When you're not speaking, we will have all of the microphones muted. And for the panelists, we're going to keep our cameras off when we're not speaking, just so everyone's not distracted. And then finally, if you have questions along the way during the presentation, please use the Zoom Q&A window to put your questions in there, and we will get to as many of those today as we possibly can. We hope you all find this to be an informative session. Now let's introduce everyone. Like I say, I'm Mark Weldon. I lead the Small Business Development Unit here in the Housing and Neighborhoods Department with the City of Raleigh. And I will turn it over to my colleague Ferdinand, and then we will go to the Carolina Small Business Development partners on the call. So Ferdinand, you're next.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ferdinand Rouse. I'm the Small Business Development and Programs Coordinator with the City of Raleigh, and I will be with you all today speaking about the Oak City Biz Labs program.
All right, let's go ahead and turn it over to Melissa.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Melissa Terrell. I'm the Business Solutions Officer with Carolina Small Business Development Fund, and I'll be project managing the Oak Biz City Labs program.
All right, Lori, there you are.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lori Diaz. I'm with Carolina Small Business Development Fund, and I'm the Vice President of Business Solutions here. Nice being here. Thank you.
And finally, Emily, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Emily Blevins, Marketing and Communications Director for Carolina Small Business Development Fund.
All right, thank you all for joining today, and we are your panel for today's informative session. Let's get right to it. So I am going to do a screen share quickly of today's presentation. Hold on for just a second. Get there. All right, can we all see that? And then I will go and make it on screen presentation. How's that look? All right, okay. And my microphone is live. Great. All right. Thanks, everyone. We are going to go into today's session. Again, this is a recorded webinar session, so we can show this again for future applicants. And the agenda for today, we're going to talk a little bit about the general program background and priorities, the program overview. We'll talk to you about the application process with the hope that we'll be able to give you a smooth application experience. And then we'll get to some frequently asked questions, open it up for Q&A. And in the meantime, again, just a reminder, please remain muted, and questions are welcome in the Zoom Q&A window. We already introduced ourselves. We'll keep on going. So let's talk about the program itself, Oak City Biz Labs. This is a result of the Federal American Rescue Plan Act that was enacted back in March of 2021 as a response to the COVID pandemic impacts on our communities, businesses, residents, health, everything. The City Council of the City of Raleigh approved $4.2 million of funding for small businesses with the Oak City Biz Labs program. This is funded by federal dollars, and that is why Sometimes you'll be asked to provide supporting documents. You may be wondering why. The federal government does have very strict compliance and reporting requirements, and that's why we have to ask for some of the documentation that we do. The objectives of this program, Oak City Biz Labs, is to stabilize impacted small businesses, strengthen operating capabilities and resilience for businesses that experienced significant pandemic loss. The program it provides a financial incentive for technical assistance training. Typical training requirements is about 14 hours of technical training, stabilization training. Most of that's in the form of digital assets that we'll talk about a little bit later. And in return, the program provides an incentive of up to $30,000 conditioned upon the completion of that training. The objectives that we're hoping to get out of the program would include job retention, growing the small businesses, new customer attraction and marketing for small businesses, and ideally increasing profitability of the small businesses. Program benefits are similar to round one. The program will fund up to 6 months of operating expense, up to $30,000. And again, it is conditional on completing the training curriculum, knowledge capital. And eligible use of funds is going to include supporting payroll and benefits costs, costs to retain your employees, mortgage, rent, utilities costs, growing business, improving profitability. If you had any kind of COVID mitigation that are still part of your business, that can be eligible for using the funds for that. And then, of course, you can also use additional funds for additional technical assistance beyond the scope of this program. What is not allowed for the use of funds from the program, Oak City Biz Labs funds are not allowed to be used to repay debt or taxes owed, and they are not allowed to be used as part of an active bankruptcy proceeding. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our partners at Carolina Small Business Development Fund, specifically to Lori Diaz, who is going to step through some of the details about eligibility and the application process. Thank you, Lori, and great seeing you today. Take it away, all yours.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you for going through the first portion of the presentation. Now we're going to talk a little bit more in the detail about eligibility and the application process. As you can see here, we're including business storefront that, of course, have to be located within Raleigh city limits in operations before January 1st, 2020. This program targets specifically for-profit and small businesses with 50 or fewer employees, and we have a cap of revenues of max $5 million. We cannot accept applicants with active bankruptcies or tax liens, businesses that are delinquent with North Carolina state income taxes, and we cannot have any outstanding taxes to the city of Raleigh. Can we move to the next one?
Yes, please.
Next slide, please. Okay, so another portion of the requirements is, of course, we need documented pre-pandemic baseline. So we are going to request business tax returns for 2019. We have to document financial impact. So what this means is that when we're looking at the applications and we're comparing the business tax returns, we need to see a revenue reduction of at least 20% from the 2019 baseline to 2020 or 2021. And the revenue cannot exceed the amount that the business made in revenues for 2019. The other portion of this is that we need at least 15% gross revenue reduction compare again to 2020 or 2021, and with 2019 as the baseline. But in this particular case, we are going to accept if the business had to suspend operations for at least 60 days. So for those businesses that had to shut down their businesses for at least 60 days, we're going to be a little bit more flexible and be okay with a 15% revenue reduction compared to the 20% for those that continue operations as usual. This is a list of exclusion and the businesses that are not eligible to apply. Those are nonprofits, home-based and online businesses, short-term lease. So those businesses that have a monthly co-working or booth or share, franchises, real estate firms where the real property is held for investment purposes, and lobbyists. And we have a note here that those businesses that receive PPP and the businesses that receive funding back in 2020 from the Raleigh Relief Fund are eligible to apply. And I know this was something that we were asked before, and we wanted to make sure that you guys know that those that receive the PPP and receive Raleigh Relief Fund are eligible in this second round of Oak City Biz Labs. Okay, in terms of the application process, here's a short overview. The application is gonna launch next Monday, and you're gonna be able to submit your application, and within that application, you're gonna have a link to complete a business assessment. So it's very important that you pay attention to this step, because what that's gonna trigger is your individualized technical assistance plan. And as we have been saying, and this was part of round one, businesses that only businesses that complete the technical assistance plans are eligible to get the grant funds. If they're individuals that do not complete the technical assistance requirement, even if you qualify and your business qualified to get the grant, if you did not complete the technical assistance plan, you would not be able to get the funds. So you apply, you submit your application, you have to make sure that you're also completing the business assessment. It's a form. It's going to be asking for some specific needs that you might have in terms of technical assistance. Then you're going to be triggered to create an account with our Digital Learning Academy. This is completely free. So make sure that you use the same email address which you use to complete the actual grant application to set up your Digital Learning Academy account. This is very, very important. So just keep that in mind. And after you receive the technical assistance plan, try to go through the content that is suggested for you and your business as soon as you can, because again, by the time that we review the application and we disperse the funds, we have to verify that the business owners have completed the technical assistance. So this is the required documentation for the application. We mentioned, of course, before the 2019, 2020, and 2021 business tax returns. We're also going to be reviewing a statement describing how COVID-19 has impacted your business. We also need a valid unexpired driver's license or ID for the person who submitted the application. And of course, I mentioned the business tax returns. So keep that in mind as you're getting ready to submit your application. We also need the most recent business bank statement. This is very, very important. Keep in mind that it has to be business bank statements. It cannot be personal. It has to be the business bank statement, and we're verifying how your business, we're verifying that your business is still operating and active, and this is why we need that document. So just keep that in mind. As part of the application, we are going to ask for the banking details, including the routing, checking account number, and a copy of your voided check. Again, it has to be linked to your business bank account. We will not be able to disperse funds in any personal bank account. It has to be a business bank statement, and it has to be all the details. The banking details have to be linked to the business bank account. As grantees are approved, we will also be collecting W-9 forms for those that are approved. And as part of the application, we will be asking for you to take a screenshot, making sure that you are aware and we can confirm that all taxes have been paid. And we have included a link to that, to the wakegov.com link here, and it will be within the grant application as well. So make sure that you confirm that even today. Go in there and make sure that everything looks good, so that you're ready to complete the process later on. And of course, we are going through all this documentation. All of this information is going to be linked in our website. Make sure that between now and next Monday, you get all your documents ready to go and ready to complete your application and submit with all the attachment requires for that day. The application is going to be in our portal. You're gonna see the link over there in our website. You'll be able to access the application and upload all the documents electronically. So just make sure that you are ready by next Monday.
All right, so hello everyone. Now we're going to go over some frequently asked questions about the process. All right, so the application is open February 27th, and they'll close March 12th. It's going to take probably, we estimate it taking probably about 2 to 3 weeks to get out, to go through the application vetting process and make sure we have all the documentation, and then disbursements will begin shortly after that. We imagine that we'll have all our disbursements out by May 17th at the latest, but we want to make sure that everyone knows that the process will take time because of the high surge of applications that we're expecting, and because that if some of the information is incomplete or we have to go and verify other information, that may slow down the process. So we want to stress to you all to make sure that you provide all the required documentation, and that you keep some of the documentation that we may ask for when going through this process. And some of that information, examples of those type of information would be lease agreements, maybe any type of business banking accounts, any tax returns information, any of that information to help clarify details about your business. So just be sure to have that information on hand, just in case we request it, and be sure to submit all the required documentation that's asked for, that's with the application, so that we can make sure the process goes as fast as possible, so we can get to disbursement as fast as possible. All payments will be received by electronic funds transfer, so that's direct deposit, and that's going to go to your business bank account. So whatever business bank account you list on your application and is associated with your business, and the information that you provide to us, once we begin this process, that's where the money's going to go. Like Lori already stated, we won't be sending money to any personal bank accounts, and you can't change that information later on once you have submitted your application, and you'll have to be able to make sure that you have a working account that you have access to in order to get these funds, because whatever you submit on the application as your business banking account is where those funds will be going. The grant amount is determined by, they look at 6 times the operating expenses, and the maximum amount you'll get is $30,000. And we'll go with whichever value is less. And the minimum amount you'll get is $10,000. And all this is contingent upon completing that technical assistance requirement. If you do not complete the technical assistance requirement at the specified date, you will be ineligible to receive those funds. And there will be no exceptions to that. And only one business owner can apply, and with only one business name, and we won't be accepting multiple applications. So franchises are ineligible. And when I say the one business owner, so one business owner that's a part of that business applies, and the one business name, all those are going to be treated as distinct businesses. So just be sure that you know that if you've applied for funding in Oak City Biz Labs, the first round, you won't be eligible for this. This is just open for folks that didn't apply for Oak City Biz Labs the first round, or this is people that are eligible, or the folks that applied for the Raleigh Relief Fund back in 2020, or folks that received PPP funding from the federal government. If you apply for funds in Oak City Biz Labs round 1, you are not eligible for these funds that are being dispersed this go around. No, I guess that one. Okay, no, we can go back to that prior one. So something that we will let you know is that if you went through round 1 and you weren't able to, you didn't receive funding, but you completed the technical assistance training, that was linked to your account. So you have to make sure that you have the same email address and same email information to access that account. If you completed the technical training portion in that first round, we'll keep that account towards this round. And so you won't have to redo the technical assistance training. So if you met the 14 hours or more with the round 1 and you didn't receive any funding, we'll keep the amount, those training hours will count towards this round. So you won't have to do technical assistance training twice. We'll keep that training amount, those training hours that you've already logged, those will count towards the minimum, the requirement. And all you'll have to do is just make sure that you meet all the other requirements that are associated with this program. For this round, franchises will not be eligible. And so if you have any current loans with the Carolina Small Business Development Fund, those are going to be distinct and separate from this. You will still be eligible to apply for this program as long as you meet all the program criteria. This is not a loan. This is an award an incentive award that we are going to be giving businesses that complete the technical assistance training, because the training is really the big portion of this that we want to stress for folks. We want to make sure that everyone gets access to, and we want to incentivize that. And the answer to this is no. So the training is the meat of why we're doing this. So you have to complete that technical assistance training in order to get the funds. And to answer this one, the banking information that you submit on the application is the information that we're going to use, and it has to be a business banking account, and it can't be changed. Once the application is submitted and the deadline is passed, then you have to use that account, and that account is where any funds that are awarded are going to go. And so this is a question about if you've filled out all the information, completed the application, and you're deemed ineligible, what happens is, well, unfortunately, you're welcome to raise any concerns about the process, make sure that we didn't make any error in our decision making. But after that, only thing we can do is just refer you to other resources that with the Carolina Small Business Development Fund or other agencies that are working in the small business development space, and to point you to resources that the city has when it comes to small business support. We have a list here, a frequently asked questions list you can be found on Carolina Small Businesses development site that's associated with Oak City Biz Labs, and we'll be sure to send that out to anybody if you have further questions.